Hello dear students, how are you all? I hope all of you will be fit and fine. Dear students, we had already discussed first chapter of the book Snapshots, and today we will be discussing chapter number 2, the address of the book Snapshots. This chapter has been written by Marga Minku. This chapter gives an account of the chaos, disorder which follows war. We see what it does to humans and their behavior. Means, what does war do to humans and what happens to their behavior. You can feel the pain, grief and mental torture the survivors of war have to go through. It is about the author's story, who is a Jew and returns to her native home post-war. After suffering many losses, she even loses her mother. Further, it is about how she handles the world alone after going through so much pain. Moreover, we learn about world's cruelty towards the oppressed. Upon suffering from further oppression, she realizes a lesson in a tough way. She comes to realize that nothing is kept in materialistic things, and she gives everything up. Thus, it shows us about human pain and self-actualization. What is given here? This short story is a poignant account of a daughter. Means a painful account of a daughter who goes in search of her mother's belongings after the war in Holland. When she finds them, the objects evoke memories of her earlier life. However, she decides to leave them all behind and resolves to move on. So we can understand that this is a painful story of a daughter who goes in the search of her mother's belongings, which were kept in somebody's home after war in Holland. And when she finds those belongings, means those things, those articles of her mother, when she finds them, those objects, those articles, they evoke memories of her earlier life. Means a past life, her earlier life when her mother was with her. All memories, they start coming to her mind. Then she decides to leave them all behind. Means she didn't want to possess them anymore, and she resolves to move on. The chapter's title, The Address. How is it justifiable? The story, The Address, is all about the address. Why this chapter has been given this title? The Address. I am going to discuss it. Means I am going to discuss about the appropriateness of the title of the story, The Address. The story Address is all about the address that the author had received from her mother years ago, so that she can reclaim her belongings back after the war. The whole plot develops from this address of Mrs. Dorling, house number 46, Marconi Street. In the story, the author, after years, goes to Mrs. Dorling's house to get back her mother's belongings. But the author understood that the lady was not ready to give back her mother's possessions during her first time at that lady's house. Later, the author decides not to take back her belongings as it lost its value due to their tasteless storage. or tasteless arrangements. According to the author, the things also contained the memories of her mother, so she decided not to take those things back. So the title is justifiable, justified, it is an appropriate title. Okay? The story revolves around the address. What may be the theme of the story? I am going to discuss these things in the beginning, then it will be very easy for you to understand the story. Dear students, the theme of the address deals or revolves around the personal challenges that all of us have to encounter as individuals while resolving crises in our own lives. With war comes death, destruction and dehumanizing effect on human beings. And this story unfolds to its readers the disruption caused in the narrator and her mother's lives due to the war. On a deeper level, it is also a story about memories. Okay, so how is it a story about memories, and how does it tells us about the effects of war on human beings' life? To know about all this, let's read the story of the text of this chapter. The story goes like this. The narrator is narrating the story and she is speaking. The first dialogue is given. Do you still know me? I asked. Means the narrator, she has reached at the house of Mrs. Dorling, who had been an acquaintance of her mother, who had been some family friend of her mother, and she has gone there to see her. Okay, because her mother had given that address to her that she can reclaim the things, reclaim the belongings from so and so address, because those things were kept in her house during the war, and now the author or the narrator had reached her house to reclaim those things post-war, after the war. So that is why when she reaches there, she asks, do you still know me? The woman looked at me searchingly. She just looked at me as if she just want to know, she want to investigate who I am and why have I come. She had opened the door a chink. She had opened the door a little. It was not completely opened. I came closer and stood on the step. Right? I stood on the step to talk to her. No, I don't know you. The lady, she denied to recognize her. Then the narrator told, I am Mrs. S. daughter. She held her hand on the door as though she wanted to prevent it opening any further. Her face gave absolutely no sign of recognition. She kept staring at me in silence. Means she did not leave the door. She kept on holding on the door because it seemed as if she didn't want me to come inside. She wanted me to prevent. She wanted me to stay outside. She didn't want to open the door any further. And her face gave absolutely no sign of recognition. Her face was telling that she didn't recognize me. Okay? And she kept staring at me. She kept looking at my face. Okay? Then, what did she say? Perhaps I was mistaken. I thought perhaps it is not her. Now it came to my mind that probably I am at some wrong house. I am mistaken, and perhaps it is not that lady I wanted to talk. I had seen her only once, because I had seen that lady, means that acquaintance of my mother, I had seen her only for once, fleetingly, when I was in a hurry, and that was years ago, and it had happened many years ago. It was most probable that I had rung the wrong bell. Perhaps I had come to wrong address. The woman let go of the door and stepped to the side. Okay, she moved from the door and she stepped to one side of the door. She was wearing my mother's green knitted cardigan. Why did she move, and why did she step toward the what happened to it? Now, why did that lady step to the side? Means she was trying to hide herself. Why? Because she was wearing narrator's mother's green knitted cardigan, overcoat, which was knitted by her mother. She was wearing her dress, and the wooden buttons were rather pale from washing, and that cardigan was having some wooden button, and they had got colorless due to frequent washing. She saw that I was looking at the cardigan, and that lady saw that the narrator is looking at her cardigan. That is why, and she half hid herself again behind the door. But I knew now that I was right. But it ensured, means now it was confirmed that I was not at the wrong address, I was at the right address. Okay, I understood it. Well, you knew my mother? I asked her, do you know my mother? She was Mrs. S. Have you come back? Said the woman. I thought that no one had come back. Now this lady, she told a little hint that she recognized her, that she knew them. That is why she said, have you come back? I think after war, no people come back. Have you come back? Right? Only me. So the narrator told that no, not us, but I, only me. I have come only. My mother has not come. Okay? A door opened and closed in the passage behind her. Behind her in the room, another door, it was opened and closed. And a musty smell emerged. A foul smell came out of the room. I regret I cannot do anything for you. That lady told, I'm sorry, I cannot do anything for you. I have come here specially on the train. I wanted to talk to you for a moment. Narrator told, I wanted to talk to you because I have come specially for meeting you through a train, via train. It is not convenient for me now, said the woman. I cannot see you another time. Then the lady told that, means Mrs. Dorling answered that it is not convenient for me. Right at the moment I cannot see you. You should come some other time, another time. She nodded and cautiously closed the door. In this way, she nodded means she denied, making a movement with her head, and she cautiously closed the door. Very attentively she closed the door, as though no one inside the house should be disturbed, as if somebody was there inside the home and that should not be disturbed, and she closed the door in that way. I stood where I was on the step. The curtain in front of the window moved. So I kept on standing there on the step, and the door was closed on my face, and the curtain on the side window moved. Someone stared at me through the curtain and would then have asked what I wanted. And somebody would have asked from that lady, Mrs. Dorling, what this lady want? Oh, nothing. The woman would have said, probably Mrs. Dorling would have said, oh, nothing, she didn't want anything. It was nothing. Then I looked at the nameplate again. I just want to be sure whether I'm on the right address or not. Dorling, it said, in black letters on white enamel. Okay, it was the house of Dorlings, and on the jamb, a bit high, the number 46. Means the house number was also written on the jamb. Okay, So it's a wooden strip on which this address and sometimes the name of the owner is written. Okay, dear students, so here I would like to stop for today. I will be discussing the rest of the story through other videos next time. So you please read the text with understanding. If you face any problem, please let me know. I will be coming soon with the other video. Thank you very much.